Hey guys and girls, please, whenever I say guys, I mean girls as well. Sometimes I forget, just please apologize for that, but guys and girls. I'm passing here very quickly just to let you know that I now have a podcast. I may ask yourself, why we create a podcast? I mean, several YouTube channels they follow this. They have the YouTube, then they have the podcast. I myself, I love podcasts. I love listening when I go for a walk. Even when I am on YouTube, I'm just listening. I just like to let the video play, put my microphone, and start to put my phone and start to listen. So I'm a kind of person, I was reading recently, I'm kind of auditive, like I love listening. So now we have the podcast of the channel. I don't know yet how it's gonna work because I always like to leave stuff for the curiosity, trying, testing, but like I'm going to post some, for example, TED Talk. TED Talk, you have the TED Talk on YouTube and you have the same version sometime on as a podcast. And some YouTube channel they make two versions, one version for the channel, another version for the podcast. I don't know if I'm going to do two versions. Most likely I'm going to do just one. Our first episode is a book I'm reading to you called The Music of Life by Dennis Noble. I'm reading to you the book, all the book, and that's the first episode. I also love as a matter of fact, I use Tunein much more than I use. Then I like to use Spotify, but Spotify is much faster. For example, I just registered the podcast in about half an hour. It was already available. Unfortunately, it's on Tunein. It takes a little bit more of time to appear. I guess you like. If you have any other podcast that have preference, I can see if I can make the registration. But I myself, I like to listen just the tuning. Spotify, just rare occasion. But let me know what you like the most. Just out of curiosity, just to, let's say, use the opportunity and talk to you on email. For example, I like big picture science. I like this podcast. I listen to this podcast for about 5 years. I mean, I love this Skeptic Check, in which they put something on the light of science, then try to question everything, like Skeptic Check, Rational Lampen. I don't know which, I didn't yet listen to this episode, but I love this podcast. As one other example, it maybe has to do with biomechanics. I have my PhD, I start to listen to this podcast because my PhD was about biomechanics. So I start to listen to this podcast here, and I love it. It's from Australia. I don't know what's happened. I used to find it. See, this one, Health Report. This podcast is from Australia, but anyway, this podcast talks about the medicine, Australia. They have as well, just out of curiosity, they have as well. It's the same group. I like it. I love it as well. Then that's this one CoronaCast. It's the same. And if you are from Brazil, as one suggestion I could give you is Quarentena from Federal University of São Carlos. I don't know if it's here. I love this one because, anyway, just for Quarentena, they're supposed to have, I don't know what happened. Here, I guess this is the one, because they changed the picture. I mean, if you have a podcast, I would strongly suggest that do not change the picture. I guess this is the one. I don't know, they don't have too much information here, but they used to have a different picture. It was quite nice. In our specific case, the episode will be available for about 3 months, because since I'm paying myself, I'm using the free version. if you make a donation in the future in a way to help me to keep the channel, I could buy for a website. I could have more like buy to a podcast and can keep the episodes for more than 3 months. But for now, I have 3 months to see the episode, otherwise it will disappear. So that's all. I'm quite happy that now I have this podcast, and I hope you enjoy, and can always let me know feedback. Dois. Hey guys, I'm passing here very briefly, very fast. I just want to let you know that now you have a second option. I said before I have already created a Patreon, so you can help the channel if you want. But I have also decided to create Buy Me a Coffee, which was a platform that I have found recently. I have done some research. The biggest difference between Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon. The biggest difference that Buy Me a Coffee is a one-way donation. It means that you give like a donation, that's all. That it's just one time. That can be a very nice option. For instance, that you see a video on this channel, or you see an article, anything that you see that you may find useful for free. Then you just buy me a coffee.